Hi, in this video, we are going to be looking at chromosome mutations. All right. So, at the end of this video, you're going to learn the following. You will know what chromosome mutations are and what are the causes of chromosome mutations. You will also learn the types of chromosome mutations, and at the same time, you're going to learn the significance of chromosome mutations in the organisms in which they occur. So, right on, hop in. Let's see what chromosome mutations are. So, what are chromosome mutations? Chromosome mutations are simply the changes that occur in chromosomes. They are the changes in the structure and the number of chromosomes in a species. We can also refer to them as chromosomal aberrations or chromosomal abnormality. So it's either you call them chromosome mutation or chromosomal aberrations or chromosomal abnormalities. So what we call uh, chromosomal aberrations or mutations or abnormalities, as which one depends on which one you want to call them. What we call chromosome mutations, may result from chromosome breakages and reunion in an abnormal way. You know that during the time of cell division, chromosomes can break. All right. So when they break and reunite in an abnormal way, is going to result to an aberration or an abnormality. All right. So chromosome changes are important sources of genetic changes or phenotypic changes in organisms in which they occur. And when they occur, they are, can be transmitted from one generation to the other. All right. So the next thing I would want us to look at is the causes of chromosome mutations. What are the causes of chromosome mutations? What brings about changes in chromosome? So the first cause of chromosome mutation or chromosome aberration is radiation. So radiations of very high frequency or electromagnetic radiations can cause chromosome changes. They can cause damage to chromosomes of an individual. Such radiations like X-rays and gamma rays and even ultraviolet radiations can bring about chromosome mutation. The second cause of chromosome mutation is that chromosome mutation can be spontaneous, that is spontaneous mutation. Spontaneous mutation may be caused by DNA polymerase error. And you know that DNA polymerase is the enzyme that replicates DNA during cell division. So DNA polymerase is responsible for proofreading inserted nucleotides and sometimes with error at a low rate but significant over time. But again, DNA polymerase may rarely omit bases or insert extra bases due to replication slippage. We're not going to be talking about replication slippage because it's beyond the scope of this lesson. So the next factor that causes chromosome mutation is chemical mutagens. When an organism is exposed to chemical mutagens which react with DNA bases to alter their chemical structures, this can result to induce the mutation. So example of such chemical mutagens that cause chromosome mutation is nitrite. Another example is ethylmethane sulfonate, that is EMS. So all these mutagens can bring about chromosome mutation. Another cause of chromosome mutation is mispairing and recombination. Mispairing and recombination is the arrangement of DNA segments which result from mistaken pairing of similar sequences followed by recombination or crossing over. So these four are the causes of chromosome mutation. All right, radiation, chemical mutagens, mispairing, and also mutation can be spontaneous. All right. So let's have a look at the types of chromosome mutation. What are the types of chromosome mutation? All right. So we are going to be looking at 4 different types of chromosome mutation. The first one is translocation, which is the transfer of genetic material of one chromosome to a non-homologous chromosome. You know what genetic material is? That is DNA. So if there is a transfer of genetic material of one chromosome to a non-homologous chromosome, that is what we call a translocation. All right. Now, the next type of chromosome mutation is inversion, which is simply the rearrangement of genetic material within a chromosome. And inversion can occur when a segment of chromosome breaks, when it breaks and is rotated through 180 degrees on its axis, and then it rejoins. When that happens, you have what we call inversion. Okay. Now, we have another type of chromosome mutation that we call deletion. So what is deletion? Let's go. Deletion, also called loss or deficiency, is the loss of chromosome segments or material. So when a portion of chromosome is lost and it's not replaced, that's a deletion. All right. So there are striking facts about deletion. First one is loss of any considerable portion of a chromosome is usually lethal to a diploid organism. When we say it's lethal, it means that it can cause the death of the organism that is bearing it. All right. All right. So the second striking fact about deletion is that most deletions are lethal. They are lethal when homozygous, because most genes are necessary for life, and the homozygous deletion would have 0 copies of some genes. So where an individual has 0 copies of genes that are needed for life, what do you think will happen? Definitely that organism is not going to survive because it lacks those genes that are necessary for life. Okay. All right. So the next type of chromosome mutation is the one that we call duplication, which is simply the repetition of chromosome material or segment. It is simply the presence of an additional chromosome segment in excess of the normal chromosome complement of that species. So that is what we call deletion. So having seen this, you can see that chromosome mutation can be in the form of translocation, can be in the form of inversion, it can be in the form of deletion, it can also be in the form of duplication. So these are the types of chromosome mutation. All right. So we'll now move into the significance of chromosome mutations. What relevance is chromosome changes? Of what relevance are they? So let's look at the relevance in terms of evolution. Chromosome mutations are responsible for evolution of a species. That is, they are responsible for speciation, since they create new variations in population of a species. You see that some chromosome changes can also confer advantage or adaptive advantages that can be selected for in a population. Take for instance, where an individual has a mutation that is of advantage to it, so that individual can be selected for from that population. All right. So another one is that chromosome mutations can lead to genetic disorders or diseases. Let's take for instance, in humans, you know that genetic disorder like Down syndrome is caused by the presence of an extra copy of chromosome 21. All right, chromosome 21 in humans. So if an individual has an extra copy of chromosome 21, that individual is going to be a Down syndrome, right? So chromosome mutation also responsible for diseases such as cancer. Okay, now let's look at another significance of chromosomes in the area of reproduction. So in reproduction, chromosome mutations can cause infertility. It can also cause miscarriages. Let's take, for instance, in livestock species, chromosome mutations can affect the fertility, and once fertility is accepted, what happens? it means that the transmission of desirable traits from one generation to the next generation will be hampered. So what that means is that impacts on breeding program. So in summary, chromosome mutations can have significant consequences ranging from no effect, severe developmental disorder like cancer or even death, and it can also confer adaptive advantage to individuals that have it, and it can as well bring about evolution of species. When we say evolution of species, you should know what we mean. All right. So let's look forward, to our next video where I'll be giving you other information. All right. So that brings us to the end of this lecture. All right. I believe you have learned what chromosome mutation is and what brings about chromosome mutation. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also don't forget to follow my Facebook page for more updates. Thank you, and God bless you. Like my videos and also share my videos. Thank you so much. Have a great day.